Hey everybody, welcome to another Fish Tech video. We're going to have a look at the new Inanda version 2.0. We're on a bit of a hot and sticky afternoon here on the east coast of KwaZulu-Natal, South Africa. So I hope you don't mind. I hope there's not too much interference coming from the fan. There's no aircon in my office. I only use a fan, so it gets a little bit warm in here. But without that, I would die without the fan. So let's see how we go here. Right, let's find that. Remember, we always start with our Navionics built-in chart. It's just because it's got the most detail and it's easier to find things. And where we are. Okay, once we get to sort of that, sort of a zoom level, we're going to go to our chart source. Guys, what I've done here, I have restored default. The only things I've changed is I've turned off the alarm so we don't have that annoying alarm coming on, and I've turned off the overlay. Otherwise, it's default. And I always suggest you guys do this. Always do a restore default before putting in a new chart. It just helps the whole thing run that little bit smoother. Guys, you'll notice the built-in charts take 3 places: Lawrence, Navionics, and CMAP Demo 3.6. The new version 2.0 also only takes 3 chart spaces, whatever we want to call it. It's Inanda version 2.0, it's your satellite and sediment version 2.0, and your AerialHD version 2.0. It's only those 3. But you're going to be shocked to see what is hidden in those names. Guys, I just want to explain something about version 2.0. I'm trying to make it as easy as possible. I want Inanda version 2.0 to be the new standard for Fish Tech charts. And what I mean by that, no matter what chart you buy, as long as it's the HD chart and not just a contour chart, you know, for the little hook or the eagle. Guys, please, the eagle is not a replacement for the Elite. It's a hook. It's the old hook with the new dress on it. That's it. It can only do contours. However, that new hook, the Eagle Eye, I haven't used one myself, but for those of you that are thinking of getting into it, I would seriously look at that. At 20,000 Rand, South African Rand, for a 9-inch unit. It seems to have a high resolution screen as well. I don't know why. I know the forward-facing sonar doesn't require high definition. I know the contours don't require high definition. So yeah, that is a bit of a mystery. I would have loved to have seen the Eagle unit compatible with imagery or raster imagery. I think it would have been an absolute game changer, but unfortunately not. From a charts perspective, it can't do any photograph viewing, the panoramic imagery, it can't do any mosaics, nothing like that. But as a standalone live unit for 20 grand, I think it's pretty good. So it might be something to look at. Those of you who are looking at getting into the whole scoping, what they call scoping, or forward-facing sonar, or live situation, it certainly is an option. So yeah, like I said, I would really like this Inanda chart to be the new Inanda version 2.0, to be the way the charts are built going forward. So let's get into it. Let me just have a quick sip of tea. Oh, that's a good cup of tea. It's a rooibos, yeah. Those of you that don't know what a rooibos is, you'll have to come to South Africa. It's quite unique to South Africa. Love my rooibos. Inanda version 2.0. There we go. There it is. There it is. We're going to zoom in. Now remember, I've restored defaults on this unit, as I suggest you guys do. And that's what you're going to get. Okay? It's just your vector data. You don't see any raster data. Why? Because the raster data has been turned off by default. Why? On gas. Raster should be turned on. Your photo overlay on default should be on. And something, I don't know why or when anybody would ever want to turn it off, but that should be the only option, is to turn it off. But anyway, it is what it is. Hopefully one day we will see that change. So the first thing you're going to do, and you're going to do this on all three of your charts. All three. We're going to go to our more options. We're going to go to chart options. We're going to turn our overlay onto land only. What you'll notice with land only is it changes the outline of the dam to the imagery, your raster imagery, but it keeps your vector data, such as your contour lines, your names, your depth identification numbers, all that type, the isobars, these various colors that you see here, it puts those colors on top, which is nice. Okay, but then you're going to go back and you're going to turn your shaded relief on. I'm using shaded relief as a switch. It's not a shaded relief. Only on the AerialHD is it a shaded relief per se, but I'm using the shaded relief option as a switch, and I want to do that with all the charts going forward. So what that means is your chart detail, we're going to make that low just so that it minimizes the contour so it doesn't get too busy. It's another thing that you can do while we're here. And then we're going to go to our categories and we're going to turn depth area off. Okay, that is going to be our standard going forward, and I'll show you why we want to do that. Let's pick an interesting little area here. Oh, that looks quite interesting. Okay, first thing is, watch what happens to our imagery. Remember, we're using the shaded relief as a switch, but under shaded relief we have the option on our photo overlay of off. Don't know why anyone would ever want that. I'm repeating myself on purpose. And you got land only or full. But watch what happens when you switch to full. Now you've got effectively the sediment with a cover overlay, with a shaded overlay on top of it, with a high definition satellite on the shoreline, low level satellite, with that on top of the side scan mosaic. Anybody that uses a fish tech for the first time, if they had had that as their very first experience and had nothing else, I think we would have probably sold 10 times the charts that we sell currently. This is going to change the way people use the charts, and I want people to get used to this way, because we're going to change all the charts and it's going to work and run like this. I'm not saying we're necessarily going to go and rescan the whole dam like we've done for Inanda and make it a new chart where you've got to buy the whole chart from new, like you're going to have to do with Inanda, because that has been scanned from scratch. The whole dam. A lot of work has gone into this. The others, I'll probably just reprocess a lot of that data, clean up where I can, and try and bring it to this format. So let's go and have a look at that spot that we were looking at earlier, and I'll show you why this is so nice. Okay, you can see the low level satellite goes all the way out to, what's that, about 16 feet? I'd say about 16 feet out. So this satellite imagery was taken when the dam was down about 16 feet. But look what happens if you say, okay, but I want to see the side scan coming in even shallower. All you do is from your photo overlay here, this photo overlay, you just tap on land only, and there now is the side scan all the way into the shallows, so you can see all the weeds the edge of the dam, the stuff that's really, really shallow. This will be interesting. You see that spot there? I love fishing spots like this. These type of things on Inanda, these spots hold fish, people. They hold fish. I tell you what, I can't tell you, my old logbooks and my waypoints, how many of those waypoints line up with this type of thing. Look what happens when I switch over to full. Can you see what has happened there? Okay, it's a little bit hidden, it's a little bit blurry, but that would be a good spot to actually try. Generally, those kind of spots stand out a lot better with the clay. You can see the clay, but obviously this has got a little bit grown over by this time. Normally they look something like that. That's normally what these things typically look like. So if we go back to land only, can you see there? So if you would on just the side scan mosaic, you want to see, okay, but what was the low level satellites at that time? You just go on to full. Okay. Now you've got a high definition low level satellite. You've got a unbelievably sharp side scan mosaic with Shadow Max and Zero Nadir technology, completely rescanned from scratch the entire dam. Okay, all the deep water, not the deep 100-foot channels and that type of thing. Nobody fishes out there. But for instance, up the river section here, you can see we go all the way out to, in the slop there of what, about 50, 42, 45 feet, somewhere around there. Oh man, what a gem. Man, this spot just produces and produces and produces when the thermocline is right or when the dam drops. It's a little bit deep for a lot of people, but man, brings back some good memories. And you can see all the timber that you've got off there. Now you see that timber there. Okay, this might be the base of that timber is there. It says that that's about 36 feet, the base. In a case like this, it would be really interesting to idle over the top of it. And as you can see from that shadow is quite long. It would be very interesting to see how high does that standing timber come off the bottom. Because even if you don't like fishing in 36 feet of water, that tree right there, the top of the tree might be in your comfort zone, in that 9 to 12 foot comfort zone. And guess what? Very often you'll find Mr. Bass hanging around there. Sometimes they might be a little bit deeper depending on where the thermocline is, but if you can excite him enough or upset him enough, he might just come up there and teach your lure a lesson on playing around near his tree or her tree. Those big mamas. Anyway, that's the story about that. Okay, you see in the background, you can see the sediment there. I know a lot of you guys, especially on Inanda, absolutely love the sediment. I want to show you what I've done with the sediment. So we're going to go satellite sediment. Boom, okay. We don't have any color isobaths, and that is on purpose, okay. That is on purpose. I haven't put those on for the satellite and the sediment. But under chart options, we're going to do the same thing again. We're going to go photo overlay. We're going to go full. We're going to go back. We're going to go to shaded relief. Turn the shaded relief on. There we go. Now, let's have a look. What happens here now? Now you've got. So if you were on your Inanda version 2.0 and you noticed like I did, what's going on here? There's all sorts of funny things. There's like buildings and all sorts of things in the water here. What is going on? This is where you switch over to your satellite and your sediment. And you'll see this is the old Durban Corporation maintenance depot. Okay? And they've left a whole load of junk there. And that sometimes, especially when the dam's quite low or you've got a very, very deep thermocline, that area can produce some really nice fish. But now you say to me, John, now you've covered everything with the satellite. But remember what I said about using the shaded relief as a switch? We go to our photo overlay again, and we change that to land only. Boom. And our satellite is gone. We can now see the sediment chart with a cover overlay and the the depth values at 100% on top of that. And guys, keep in mind, these contours are processed with an interpolation of 30 meters, which means at the absolute worst case scenario, it used data only to a maximum of 30 meters apart to create the contours. If anybody goes onto Inanda Dam and uses this chart and tells me that the depth contours are not correct, there's only one thing that could have happened. The dam levels changed. The dam levels dropped, or we've had a flood and it came up and it went over 100%, way over 100%. Yes. If that is not the case, if the dam is 100% and these depth values are not accurate, you get on the phone or you WhatsApp and you say, John, your chart is out. This is the location. What's going on here? That's a challenge. It is incredibly accurate. Really, really accurate. So let's see, why did I put the satellite on top of this? You'll notice I haven't cut the shoreline off at all when it comes to the satellite. And there's a reason why. Because when the dam was this low, it was actually quite clean. And as you can you see all the timber? Okay, we've got to find spots that do have timber. The other thing I like about this chart, about this satellite, is I think it was done in winter. Because this isn't morning, it isn't evening, it's sort of midday, but we've still got these nice big shadows created by rocks and anything that's got a little bit of elevation to it. Like, for instance, that tree right there. So what I would do in a case like that, I would very quickly go back, go and look at our side scan and see what we've got there. So we're going to go to there. Okay, then we've got to go back and we're going to go to our chart options, photo overlay. We're going to go to our land only. Guys, can you see, unfortunately, what happened there? The base of that tree got cut off. So obviously what had happened there, this spot here, that's the base of the tree. And normally there'd be a lovely big shadow that goes all the way out this way. But the next pass, when Amy came past for the next pass, she must have been just on that side of the tree, and you don't see it. So in this case, you would definitely use full and trust your satellite for this. Let's see if any of these images, oh, there it is. That's quite a substantial piece of timber. So guys, these panoramic photographs, those of you in this case here, you would click on that, click on the number. If you've got a Ghost or an XR5 or something like that that's got a gateway link on the N2K, you'll use the go to, you'll say go, it will take you exactly to this location where the photograph is taken from, and then it'll spot lock you there. So those of you, especially the scopers out there, and those of you that are capitalizing on this new little Eagle i9 for 20 grand, you can roll up onto that spot there, say go to, take your Eagle Eye and scan that tree. I think the Eagle Eye is limited to about 80 feet in range. Let's just see if it's in range. So how do we do that? So we'll go back, measure, okay, reset to cursor, and then drag the cursor down to that tree. Okay, hidden behind me here, you can't see it, there's a little window. It says that it's 41.2 feet from the location of where the photograph was taken. So as long as you're 50 feet or more range on your live scope or active target or whatever you've got, you will see this tree very easily, and just give it a little scan from left to right and see what is hanging around this tree. And remember, sometimes what happens in a situation like this is the fish it's either going to move really tight to the tree, or it might move slightly off, in anticipation that I don't want to give the bass too much intelligence, but sometimes on very pressure dams, these bass have learned the behavior of us humans, of things that we like to target. But I can guarantee you, if this tree is not sticking out the water, what's the depth of this tree, by the way? This tree is in 16 feet of water. How tall is that? That's going to be just underneath the surface. Yeah, that is quite a substantial. I would say that's at least 12 foot tall. Anyway, let's see if there's a different angle on it. 1073. We'll have a look at that. No, that's looking down towards the water. But you can see, as you look down to the water, you can see how many little stumps and things there are in the water. This was obviously taken when the dam was quite low, very low. In fact, a lot lower than this satellite. Okay, what else have we got on this chart? Somebody said to me the other day, "Oh, I heard your elevation view is gone." Now what? It's not gone. You go to your AerialHD. Now remember, this is your drone imagery. Okay, we're going to go back. We're going to go to our chart options. We're going to turn our photo overlay onto land only. We're going to go back. Well, no, let's make it full for now. Okay, so you can see it now takes the isobars, the vector data that's on top of your raster data, which is your imagery. It removes that. And let's see if we can see this a little bit better. Yeah, you can see that tree there. You see there? It's got a little bit of a shadow to it. Watch out for those type of things. Those cattle are going to move. They won't be there when you go there and the dam's 100% full. So, where is the shaded relief? The elevation view. There it is there. We go to our categories. We turn our depth area off. Remember this, we've got to do every single one. Go back to our photo overlay and make it land only. There we go. Now, as you'll see, what I've done is our shaded relief out in the deep water where it was never exposed. I've used the contour data to create a shaded relief, but where I was able to film with the drone when the dam level was very low, like here, you'll see the contour data shaded relief. Watch what happens when I zoom in. Look how beautiful that shaded relief looks. It looks absolutely stunning. Stunning, stunning, stunning. And then look what happens. Let's take something a little bit deeper. There we go. Looks fantastic. But as you zoom in, it just becomes blurry. You'll see most shaded relief charts from anywhere in the world. Zoom into the max, and that's what happens. With drone imagery, however, there's a thing called elevation, and it uses a form of LiDAR, light distance ranging, and it creates a elevation perspective of your targets, which is a really, really handy tool. So in a case like this where I managed to get in there with the drone when the dam was low, look at the difference between your normal shaded relief that gets all blurry, and look what happens to the one with the drone, which is like a form of LiDAR. You can zoom in all you want, and it's as if it just gets sharper and sharper. It is incredible. So why would you even need this view? Look what happens when you look at just the aerial. Okay, this one's a little bit too easy. This one gives it away. You can see there's something going on there. But remember, when you're looking at something from the top, it's very difficult to judge perspective. And that's when you would switch over to your land only. And you'll see, aha, you've got a ledge with a little flat, and then another ledge. You can quickly just switch over there. You see that? So there's a ledge there, and there's a ledge there. So you can decide how you want to target this. You can switch over there. You can say, right, I'm going to target that ledge there first, and then I might go into the main little creaky channel washaway or whatever you want to call it. and target that. Okay, so that's a pretty handy little tool there. And that goes that way. Let me just see if I can, I wonder why I didn't take a photograph of this area. That's a pity that we don't have any. No, we don't. It really is a pity. It would be nice to show you a photograph there. Guys, you'll see these panoramic images. For Inanda, there's about 3,000 of them around the dam. You've got to zoom into a certain zoom level. You see, if I zoom out, boop, they pop away. That is on purpose. It's built like that for a reason. If you want to zoom out and see a little bit more, you can change from low to full. And then you'll see, then you can zoom out a little bit further. You see? And you'll see when they get turned off. Oh, that's actually staying there for a long way. We actually might just use medium here. How close can we zoom in until the photographs pop up? There. That's actually very nice. Okay, so for the Inanda version 2.0, I would use a chart detail of medium to give us the best of both worlds. So in a case like that, we'll tap on any one of those. Let's zoom in. Pick that there, on there, go image. Okay, interesting. You can see those tiny little stumps there. Very, very valuable information. So yeah, guys, but oh yes, that's the other thing that I've done. With the AerialHD, I've also included the sand mining, all the illegal sand mining. You'll see if you go to your satellite Sediment, you can see this is when they started their illegal, nefarious business here of stealing Umgani sand, okay, and ruining our dams. When all that sludgy sediment that's underneath it gets washed into the main dam, which they don't understand. You switch over now. Look how this changes when you switch over to aerial. Look at that. Look at that. You can see the extent of the damage that these guys have done. Look what happens when we change that to land only. Can you see the elevation? Now you can see clearly how deep these guys actually went. Now you can really get a feeling for that sort of 3D perspective that you get from the elevation. And guys, when the dam goes down a little bit, watch out for these little high spots like this. Those are bitey little spots. And very often, especially when they've been doing sand mining like this, do you know what those high spots are? It's where they've gone and dumped rock. So that's your prop in your gearbox gone. Ask me. I know. That was one prop for me. Gone. Okay. If you want to get another feeling of how severe these guys, how serious their sand mining operation was, look at this area. This is opposite Dutch's Dip. Look at that. Look how they've absolutely just gorged this area out. This is all illegal. You might ask yourself, what is that thing over there? So we zoom in, switch over to full. It's the Ganda. There's the tools of the trade. Okay. So yeah, but guys, for most of you, you're going to use Inanda version 2.0. You'll see what I've done. Even in the Inanda version 2.0, I've used the best satellite imagery. I mean, the best imagery that I have, plus the side scan mosaic behind it, which I've spent quite a bit of time on building this chart, and I'll tell you, every single time I look at it, I just can't wait to get to the water and go and fish some of these spots that I identify. People think, oh yeah, you mapped it, you must know where everything is. Guys, I don't have that kind of memory. I wish I had that kind of memory. I don't. But man, I see some absolutely incredible spots. When I go back there, if I tell you that I find fish on every single one of them, I'm lying. I don't. But I can tell you I've got a good 60% nailing it rate when it comes to these charts, and they are just so accurate. Just a word of caution, the AerialHD, the drone imagery, that was quite some time ago. I used a software program called Drone Deploy, and guys, I've noticed it's a little bit off from an accuracy perspective, and there's nothing I can do about it, because hundreds and hundreds and hundreds and thousands of pictures, and I can't do anything about that. Trust the contours and trust the HD satellite, however, is very, very accurate. If you want to check how accurate the chart is, when you get to your slipway and you park next to the slipway and you've taken your trailer out, just zoom all the way into your location and compare to where your boat is parked on the land to the slipway. You'll be able to see the accuracy of that specific chart. Another nice thing there is to also check your EPE, your estimated position error. Maybe your satellites for the day are mucking about and your EPE is all over the place. And then you're like, oh, hang on, that doesn't look very good. Then you know for the rest of the day, you're going to have to be careful. So if you're not using something like a Mega 360, which acts like a radar that's independent of GPS, or you haven't got a live style forward-facing sonar, I'm going to suggest you be very cautious with regard to that. Some guys have come back to me and said, John, why don't you use RTK on your boats and have centimeter accuracy? 100%. I've got RTK here, it's ready to go. I just connected and I'm off, and I've got RTK technology on my boats. Have you got RTK and position correction? Are you subscribed to a correction position provider on your boat? Does Lawrence units have that technology? No, they don't. And unless the two of us are doing it, it's not going to make much of a difference. But generally, when I'm on the water, my contour data, my side scan data, that type of thing, I'll tell you, so far what I've seen, every time it's been within a meter or so. It's been, in most cases, it's sub-meter, but I'm going to say a meter or two just to play it safe. So it's a new world, and I think anybody, especially those who start using the charts for the first time and you live near Inanda Dam, you're in for a treat. Not the road going down to the dam, that's a complete disaster. It's gone from contractor to contractor to contractor, and it's like each one just seems to get worse and worse. But hopefully they'll fix the road down to the dam one of these days. And what I do know, however, is Inanda's fishing pretty good. But guys, the hyacinth is coming. The hyacinth is coming. We'll have to see. Guys, with regard to ordering the chart, next week is our Black Friday week. This is the perfect time to get this chart. Give Colleen a buzz, WhatsApp her, whatever, get this chart. Some huge, fantastic discounts. And I strongly recommend it, guys. I know a lot of you last year, or the beginning of this year, were very disappointed that we had an increase for the first time in 7 years. In fact, we'd never had an increase on our charts. Whatever our first price was on our charts, we never had an increase for years and years and years. And this year, I said, no, we have to have a little increase there. And guys, I'm going to have to do the same next year. There will be another annual increase in January on our charts. So if you don't want to do that, I suggest make use of our Black Friday special. It's a very good special. I see overseas there are some mind-blowing specials. Any of you from the States that know tactical sonar, Paul Getty's, get hold of him and his people today. He is selling a brand new refurbished, it's what they call refurbished, from Navico, HDS 9 Pro with a 3-in-1 HD transducer. It's the AI HD transducer for under $1,000 US. Insane. Absolutely insane. Tactical sonar. Get hold of Paul Getty's quick. And you South Africans that know somebody over there, get one. I don't know if Lawrence, South Africa is going to have a special here. I surely hope they do, because it sounds like everybody else is. If we're not going to get it here, then we're probably the only country in the world that's not going to get this fantastic special. And I've got a sneaky suspicion it's from Navico. So let's hold thumbs, and maybe South Africans can also get a little bit of a gelukkie for frikkie. So guys, thanks for watching the video, and I'll see you guys next time.